Brian Williams' suspension was predictable, but 15 years ago, not so much. The media landscape has dramatically changed. The internet, the blogosphere, the rise of conservative media, Twitter, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Vimeo, everything. It's made it all really harder to get away with things. Even elite media anchors like Brian Williams or Dan Rather. Much more shocking, though, was the revelation that Jon Stewart, king of liberal talking points and undisputed champion of pomposity, he's also stepping down from his perch at The Daily Show. Take a look at his teary announcement from last night.
Doug Herzog, Michelle Gainless of Comedy Central gave me an incredible opportunity 17 years ago to pilot this wonderful franchise. In my heart, I know it is time for someone else to have that opportunity. I don't think I'm going to miss being on television every day. I'm going to miss coming here every day. And this is where I love the people here. They're the best. They're creative and collaborative and kind, and that's alliterative, but it's cheating because it's a K. But you understand what I'm saying. I love them and respect them so much.
I don't begrudge the man's successes. I mean, he's reached the pinnacle of comedic commentary. He's a god amongst college-age liberal progressives who think that he's the real news. He's one of the world's highest-paid talk show hosts. Well done, and mazel tov. But who knows? Who knows what's in store for him now? We know that he was directing a feature film, his first for this year. But we do know also what's in store for the rest of media and the Hollywood class. Absolute terror at the fact that their narrative setter is gone. Yeah. They've been lamenting this all day, and it's not much better with the Brian Williams suspension, which kind of interesting that Jon Stewart, BFFs with Brian Williams, decided to make that announcement that he did last night. I know that Joe Scarborough suggested this morning on NBC that maybe he was doing him a solid, but then NBC screwed it all up by announcing the 6-month suspension with no pay, which reinvigorated the conversation, but I digress. So between these two news items and the reaction and tears of the progressive left, you would think that Mother Teresa died all over again and all of the world's puppies grew up and left home. So what's the deal? Why all the pomp and circumstance when Brian Williams steps aside in disgrace versus the jubilation, like when Glenn Beck leaves Fox News to start a new enterprise and with nary a blemish on his accomplishments? Why the tear-soaked rending of garments over Jon Stewart stepping down versus the total indifference or outright animosity towards other hosts? If you asked a progressive in an interview, they'd say that these are their, quote, truth tellers. I mean, and honestly, I think some of them have even tweeted as such earlier this afternoon. It's cliche now to say the news is more honest on The Daily Show than it is Fox. People repeat that nonsense constantly, even Jon Stewart himself. But here's the reality. They aren't truth tellers, they're storytellers. These are guys that take pieces of news and bits of information and they sprinkle some barely detectable opinions and they leave out vital information, all to bake up some baloney narrative that pushes an agenda and gets guys like Barack Obama to soar into office. They can't stand Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity because those dudes aren't telling stories by leaving things out. Those guys aren't ignoring inconvenient truths. Those guys aren't putting an agenda ahead of truth. Truth has no agenda, as we like to say around here. And progressives hate that. In their mind, truth should always have an agenda because the masses are just simply too stupid to know what's best for them.